Have you ever heard of false dandelion? There are many types of false dandelion, but one that's very common here on Long Island is cat's ear. And I'm going to show you cat's ear right now so you could learn about it for yourself. So here we have an example of cat's ear false dandelion. You see, a cat's ear dandelion doesn't have that fuzzy white puffball bottom. The flower looks slightly different than a regular dandelion flower. Secondly, the stem, it has multiple stems. They're more fibrous, they're harder. They're not, okay, a true dandelion, the stem is very easy to just break and rip off. Like, okay, I was able to break this easily, but it's so fibrous and hard. You see? A true dandelion doesn't have this harder outer stem. It's just a very thin, easy to rip stem. Like it's not as thick and hard as this. This is very fibrous and tough. This is very tough. Secondly, another thing about it is that false dandelion has multiple stems. See, there's 1, 2, 3, all of them up at the same time, and they branch out with multiple flower heads. A regular true dandelion will never do that. A true dandelion will always have 1 flower head on each stem, and usually just 1 up at a time in the middle. Sometimes there'll be 1, and then it puffs out, and then a fresh one will come out the middle, and that will die and puff out, and then a new one will come out the middle. This will have multiple flowers open at the same time on multiple branching stems. Okay? The next difference is false dandelion, the leaves. First off, it looks a little similar to a regular dandelion, yeah, but once you really look at the leaf, the texture is, see these bumps? They're very obvious, okay? It almost feels like Velcro. Very rough. It's very rough. And they have this distinct shape with this squiggly, rounded edges. They're not as serrated as a dandelion usually has more sharper edges. These are more rounded. You can just tell when you see this particular leaf shape. Okay, it's flat, furry, and bumpy. That's a false dandelion. And then you see the thick, fibrous, multiple branching stems with multiple flower heads all open at the same time. That's a false dandelion. The reason that it's important to know if you have a false dandelion or not, it really doesn't matter unless you have horses, because they're completely edible and medicinal, safe for humans. But false dandelion, cat's ear variety, actually is a potent neurotoxin for horses, and it actually causes something called string halt, and that's very dangerous for horses. You don't want this growing wherever your horses graze. If you don't have horses, there's nothing to worry about, honestly. If you do have horses, you want to avoid false dandelion where your horses are grazing. That's the only thing to worry about. As long as you don't have any horses, it is completely safe and edible. You can even make flower jelly, just like with dandelion flowers. You can collect these flower heads and make flower jelly. And if you do have it and you're having trouble controlling it, simply take a walk around your property every day and pick the flower heads off so that they can't go to seed and they can't spread. Or you could just pull the weeds up. You know, you can pull them up and eat them. I generally don't enjoy eating these leaves because it's just the way they are. They're furry, they're thick, fibrous. I really don't generally eat them. You could, but this is not going to be your first choice. You know, why would you eat this when you have true dandelions, chicory, chickweed, if you have lamb's quarter, if you have evening primrose leaf, marshmallow leaf, cilantro, right? Like if you have all these other amazing wild edibles, strawberry leaves, like why would you even go for something hairy and furry and thick and fibrous? You know what I mean? But in a survival situation, it's safe, totally safe. You can eat this if you need to. It is here for you. Like it's native, it grows around here. You can find it, you can eat it. It is safe to eat. And if you're wondering what the nutrition or the medicinal benefits are, they're all on par with regular dandelion. So this would probably be high in mineral vitamins A, C, K, just like dandelion, potassium, and just a lot of micronutrients. If you ever have the choice between true dandelion and cat's ear, True dandelion is going to be the more potent choice. Cat's ear is a milder version of dandelion, basically. It has a milder version of the medicinal compounds and more milder nutritional content as well. Cat's ear root can also be dehydrated and roasted just like dandelion to make a coffee substitute, which is very good to know. If you are planning on eating the leaves, I would highly suggest cooking them, like in a stir fry, or boiling it, or chopping up and adding to a soup, because eating it raw, it doesn't seem like it would be very enjoyable. I honestly have never even bothered trying this raw because I have so many other better choices. Here we found a real true dandelion. See, a true dandelion, on the dead seed, on the dead flower heads, you'll see this little, it looks like a little eraser, like a little umbrella thing. Then you'll notice that even though this does have multiple stems, only one is in flower, the others are dead, like I mentioned prior. A dandelion will never have multiple live flowers. One dies, then the next stem comes up with its live flower. And the leaves, we're going to compare the leaves over here with the false dandelion. See how these leaves are more pointy and jagged? It's a big difference. The false dandelion, where was that? Oh no, I lost it. Where'd it go? Here it is. False dandelion. See the leaf shape differences? See how this one is more pointy? The edges are so pointy on this one. This one, they're rounded. See the fur? You can clearly see the hairs. It's a little shady here. You can clearly see the hairs on this false dandelion cat's ear variety, but yet on the regular dandelion, you don't see hairs. So, that's an easy way to tell the difference.